Iris Vane built her channel on silence, and that silence was what drew people in. No music, no narration, nothing guiding the viewer, just raw footage left open to interpretation. Her newest upload showed a narrow stairwell in her building, dimly lit, empty, still. At first glance, there was nothing to notice. But people always look closer when there's nothing obvious to see. Comments began appearing, pointing out something Iris hadn't intended, a shape, halfway up the stairs, blending into the darkness. It wasn't clear, not fully formed, but enough to make people pause longer than they should. Iris dismissed it at first, assuming it was just compression, shadows, imagination filling gaps. But when she went back to check her own footage and paused at the exact frames mentioned, she felt something shift. Because for the first time, she saw it too. And once you see something like that, even vaguely, your mind doesn't let it go. It starts asking questions you don't want answers to. She filmed again the following night, deliberately, carefully, recreating the same angle, the same lighting, the same silence. Everything was controlled. Everything should have been identical. And yet, when she reviewed the footage, there was a difference she couldn't explain. The shadows didn't fall the same way. One stretched further than it should, bending at an unnatural angle, as if it belonged to something that wasn't there. She paused the frame, her eyes tracing the outline slowly forming in the darkness. It wasn't just a shape anymore, it suggested presence. A posture. Something leaning forward, just slightly, as if watching from the upper steps. Iris felt an unease settle into her chest, not sharp, not sudden, but slow and heavy, like something sinking in. She hadn't seen anyone while filming. She knew the building was empty. But the footage said otherwise. And when she uploaded it, the response was immediate. People noticed. The same thing, and worse, they all said the same sentence without prompting. It's closer. Among the viewers, one stood out, Ethan Rook. He wasn't just watching, he was studying. Frame by frame, he broke her videos down, isolating details, comparing stills, mapping differences. He sent Iris a sequence of images, lined up side by side. What she saw made her stomach tighten. The figure wasn't random. It wasn't static. It was moving. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, but consistently. One step lower in each video. The progression was undeniable when viewed together. Iris tried to rationalize it, telling herself it had to be lighting, perspective, some visual artifact. But deep down, something else was forming, a realization she didn't want to accept. Because movement meant intent. And intent meant something was aware enough to act. She hadn't staged anything. She hadn't edited beyond trimming clips. And yet the evidence existed outside of her control, documented by someone else. That was the part that unsettled her most. This wasn't just something she was seeing. It was something being seen. Determined to prove it wrong, to find a flaw, Iris set up a continuous recording. No cuts, no breaks, an entire hour of the stairwell, untouched. She stayed inside her flat the whole time, making sure nothing interfered. When she watched it back in real time, nothing happened. No movement, no figure, nothing out of place. Relief almost came. But something pushed her to scroll through it faster, dragging the timeline, letting the frames blur past. That's when she noticed it. Not in motion, but between moments. Tiny interruptions in the flow, like something slipping into existence for fractions of a second. She paused. There it was again, midway down the stairs now, clearer than before. The outline sharper, the form more defined, like a body caught mid-step. It didn't appear while time moved normally. Only when time was broken apart. Only when stillness was forced. Iris stared at the screen, feeling a quiet dread build beneath her skin. It wasn't just appearing anymore. It was advancing. Ethan's next message came quickly, urgent in tone despite its calm wording. Stop pausing it. He explained his theory, something about how whatever this was, it only existed in moments where time wasn't continuous. Like it needed stillness to hold shape. Iris read it over and over, unsure whether to believe it or dismiss it entirely. But curiosity, or maybe something closer to compulsion, made her ignore the warning. She kept pausing. Kept searching. And each time she did, the figure revealed more of itself. A shoulder angled forward. A head slightly tilted. Features that weren't fully visible but unmistakably there. And then she noticed something worse. The camera hadn't moved. The angle was identical. But the perspective felt different. As if the distance between the lens and the figure had changed. As if it wasn't descending the stairs anymore, but crossing something else entirely. Something that led closer to her. Sleep didn't come that night. Iris moved her camera inside her flat, placing it directly in front of her, aimed at the door behind her. If it was getting closer, she wanted to see it. She sat there for hours, forcing herself to stay in frame, refusing to look away, refusing to pause the recording while it was happening. Nothing moved. Nothing changed. The door stayed shut. The room stayed still. But when she finally reviewed the footage, her breath caught in her throat. Frame by frame, the door behind her was no longer closed. It had opened, slowly, gradually, in moments she hadn't perceived. And inside that opening, there was darkness. Not just absence of light, but something heavier, deeper. In one paused frame, something stood within it. Not fully visible, but undeniably present. Closer than it had ever been before. Close enough to cross into her space. Her final upload came without warning. No title, no description. Just a single shot of Iris sitting in front of the camera, staring forward, her expression empty, almost distant. The door behind her was fully open now. In motion, the video seemed normal. Nothing moved. Nothing happened. But people did what they always did, they paused. And when they did, they saw it. Frame by frame, something stepped out from the darkness behind her, closing the distance slowly, deliberately. Each still image revealed more, its shape, its presence, its closeness. Until, in the final frame, it stood directly behind her. Clear. Defined. No longer hidden. And Iris looked different. Slightly out of focus, like she didn't belong in the foreground anymore. Like something had shifted places without anyone noticing. The video ended there. No explanation followed. No new uploads came after. But those who watched closely, those who paused at the right moments, couldn't shake the feeling that the distance between viewer and subject wasn't as fixed as it seemed. And that maybe, whatever had stepped forward in that final frame, hadn't stopped moving.